Whether you just bought a new Bronco or you finally saved up for your dream Jeep, you're probably itching to take it out on the trail. I know I was. But there's one crucial thing that you need to know before hitting the dirt, and that's all about airing down your tires.
Absolutely, and big thanks to VEVOR for sending out their portable air compressor so we can demonstrate to you how to air back up after a fun day out on the trails.
In this beginner's guide, we're gonna go over everything that you're going to need to know. Why do I need to air down my tires? When do I air down my tires? What's the correct pressure? And how to air back up so you can get home safely. I know for our avid off-roaders, airing down our tires may seem like a bit of a basic concept, but I know when I first bought the Bronco and wanted to take it out, I had no idea what airing down tires was or why you even needed to do it. So do you think you can explain why we need to do it?
Absolutely. So there's three main reasons you would want to air down your tires. First, it's going to give you better grip. The reason for that is by airing down your tire, you're actually increasing the contact patch. So as you air down your tire, the part that's touching the ground increases, allowing you to have more control when you're going over rough terrain and obstacles. Next, you're actually going to have a better ride because the tire isn't so stiff. It's going to be able to absorb some of those bumps and jolts. And finally, you're going to have a little bit more protection because there's going to be more flex in the tire, once again, because it's not so hard. So it's going to be able to not be as easily pinched or punctured when you're going over rocks and different obstacles like that.
When should we air down our tires?
It's always important to kind of research the trail that you're going to be going on to find out if you should air down. A lot of people will put that advice out on the internet, so go ahead and do a basic Google search to see what other people say. If you can't find anything, it really comes down to the terrain. If it's sandy, you're definitely going to want to air down because that will allow you to float over the sand and not dig yourself deeper into it. If it's rocky, like we're dealing with today, airing down is going to give you the ability to conform over those rocks instead of just hitting them really hard with that hard blown up tire pressure. And then if it's muddy or if there's going to be a lot of water possibly, airing down will give you better traction.
What if somebody's just starting off and they happen to hit like a fire road?
You know, it's absolutely not required to air down your tires, but it does help. When we first got the Bronco, we hit a couple trails without airing down at all, just the normal tire pressure. And you know what? We survived, we got through it. But airing down will still give you a better ride because you're going to have those softer tires. So you're still going to get a better overall experience.
Is there anything else we should keep in mind after we air down our tires?
By airing down your tires, you're actually lowering your vehicle. So take that into consideration, whether you're going to be going over any rough obstacles where that extra ground clearance could really be helpful.
So when somebody is airing down their tire, is there like a good starting point for where they should stop pressure-wise?
Well, it depends on a variety of factors. It actually depends on your vehicle's weight, the terrain that you're going on. There's not like an exact number. Everyone has their preferences. Some people like percentages, so they'll drop 50% on sand or maybe 20 to 25% on mud for that extra traction. Some people will actually measure the height drop from where their tire touches the ground to the bottom of their wheel rim. For me, I like to keep it simple. So I'll say if you're starting out, a drop of 10 PSI will be pretty safe, and you could definitely go lower than that. But you'll still get a benefit of the comfort that we talked about earlier, as well as, you know, the flexibility in your tire. So that's a good place to start out.
So as people get more experience, they could air down less or air down more.
So it really comes down to what kind of terrain you're tackling, but anywhere from, I would say, 15 to 25 is a good place to play around with.
So is there such a thing as too low PSI, and what would that be, and how do you know if you're there?
I would definitely say as you start to approach those single digits, you're in that too low territory, unless you're an experienced off-roader or you have an experienced off-roader with you on the trail. Once you start to drop below 10, especially on a stock, you know, wheel and tire setup, you run the risk of your tire's bead coming off the wheel.
Is there a way to avoid that?
Now, actually, the Bronco comes from the factory, not yours, but some of the Broncos with the Sasquatch package, and the Raptor come with what's called a Beadlock capable wheel. And from the factory, it's actually just like a normal wheel, unless you go to Ford and you buy what's called a ring lock kit. So that's essentially, that'll take the beauty ring, which is just the part on the outside, you take that out and you actually put a beadlock on the wheel. That's important because that will prevent your bead from coming off the wheel because it literally secures it in place.
So that means that you could actually drop to really low pressures in your tire without risking that bead coming off.
As long as you have that beadlock kit, yes, absolutely.
Is there a reason that they don't just come with the beadlocks in it and instead it's beadlock capable?
It's because some states, like California, it's not legal to drive with those beadlock rings actually on the vehicle on public roads. So it's an off-road use only kind of situation.
So we've gone over all of the basics of airing down, but how does one actually air down?
You can use anything from a key to a pin to air down. At a minimum, I'd recommend something like this pencil style gauge. It will give you a PSI reading as well as allow you to release air, but it's not the most accurate. So at a minimum, I'd actually recommend an analog gauge like this one. You can check that out. It'll actually give you a more accurate reading and allow you to release air as well. But with those tools and a key or a pin or just using those alone, you're only going to be able to deflate a tire at a time, right?
Well, that's not very convenient or fast.
No, it's not. So we're actually going to be using what's called automatic tire deflators today. And there's a variety of different types of tire deflators on the market, but I like these ones because it comes in a kit of 4 and you can actually put one on each tire and deflate them all at the same time, which is kind of cool.
But how do we make sure that they go to the right PSI?
So you set it to your desired level by twisting that little black cap on the top. You select your PSI, then you screw it back on, and then you take this and you screw it on the actual tire. You pull the top out and it will start releasing the air up until that selected PSI that you desired. Now, I do want to mention that there is another common type of deflators on the market, and those are actually called rapid deflators. But what I don't like about those, even though a bunch of people do love them, is the fact that they're a little bit more intrusive. They actually remove your valve core temporarily. So they screw onto the tire valve, you screw it on there and you pull up and it'll actually remove the valve core, allowing the air to rush out really quickly, and it does hold on to it, and a lot of people swear by them. I like this method because it's a little less intrusive. It just simply screws on there, pushes on the valve, releases the air, and no need to worry about your valve core coming out or making sure you get it just right. So simple, easy. People have been using these for a while now, and that's why I love them, and that's why they're my choice.
Alrighty, so then the last thing I have to say is while these tools are great for being able to do a quick check of the PSI, my Bronco does actually have a reading within it that tells us an accurate real-time reading of the PSI on each tire. So as we're deflating, even though those also have a setting, I'm gonna keep an eye on it on the inside on the dash just to make sure that we're at a pretty good.
I would say though, still carry one of these because the analog, you know, it'll give you that kind of real-time moment right at the tire too, and these are pretty accurate as well. So with this and these and your dashboard being kind of like that second reinforcement, you're good to go.
Alrighty, then let's do it. I'm excited.
All right, it's time to air down. Yep.
Alrighty, so we just came to the end of our trail, and I have to say we had a blast out here today. I will say, airing down the tires made a huge difference. I didn't feel like I was getting thrown around inside the vehicle, and it definitely made it feel like I could crawl up rocks just that much easier, which was really awesome. But since we're at the end of our trail, that means we're about to go on pavement, which means we got to air up our tires.
There's a variety of different compressor options, from ones that you plug into your cigarette lighter to portable options like we have today to ones that actually mount to your vehicle. They all have their pros and cons, but you should really stay away from those little ones that plug to your cigarette lighter, because chances are if you got some beefy off-road tires, or even some like Erica has on her Bronco, they're not going to get the job done and they're going to overheat before they do that. Lots of different portable options. And finally, the onboard options, they're great. Really not a lot of cons to that other than you have to mount them. Some even come with air tanks, so you can power air tools, or you can just fill up your tires faster. The major con is just the cost. So that's why I like portable air compressors.
So then what do we need to look for if we were to go out and go purchase an air compressor?
Absolutely. There's a couple things you want to look for. Just some basics. CFM, that's going to be cubic feet per minute, and that's how quickly it can fill up your tires. So, for example, the VEVOR has a 6 CFM, so it's going to be able to handle Erica's black diamond tires pretty quickly. Next thing is gonna be duty cycle. So that's either gonna be in a percentage or a time. In the case, according to VEVOR, their duty cycle is 45 minutes, which is plenty because it only takes a couple minutes to fill each one of these tires up.
So before we do any of that, we do have to go check the recommended PSI for going back onto pavement. It is on the driver's side door panel, so we'll take a look at that. So right here is where we're gonna go ahead and check the PSI. So for the front tires, it does say 39, and the rear it says 39 as well. So we're going 39 PSI all around. I'm going in the wrong one, I think. There we go. Battery is right here. I'm too short for this, Devin. Ideally, you want to make sure that you put your air compressor in a place that it's not going to suck in like dirt or anything like that. If you have a stable place in your engine bay, you can do that. Just make sure that it is stable and there's no risk of it falling down. So here we have the alligator clips that are going to power our portable air compressor. So I'm going to go ahead and attach these to the battery. Now I'm going to start with the red and then go on to the black. The red goes on the positive side. Okay, there's one, and then the black, we're going to hit it right now. Okay, and that should power our air compressor. So I'm going to go ahead, I'm going to get the cord that we need, or the hose that we need to go ahead and attach, and then we'll be ready to go. So here we have the hose that we're going to go ahead and connect to the portable air compressor. This piece right here, you just pull down, you slide it onto the part of the portable air compressor, let it go, and it should lock into place. Now, once this is connected, this piece as well as the piece that goes inside both get extremely hot. So you do want to be careful once you start using it, you don't want to burn yourself. We're gonna go ahead and take this cap off right here. And I'm gonna put it in my pocket for safekeeping because you don't wanna lose those. Jeez. Okay, and now I'm gonna go ahead and take our hose and I'm gonna connect it. Okay, so now what I'm gonna do is I am gonna hit the power button on the air compressor itself, but I'm actually gonna go inside the vehicle to check inside the vehicle where the pressure is at. I could also come back and check this once I turn off the portable air compressor, and it will give me a reading on this gauge right here, but it'll only give me a reading after I turn off the portable air compressor. So my tire is now up to 39. I did check it on my dash. However, the gauge right here, once we turn off the air compressor, does tell us where it's at. It is pointing to 39, which is what my dash says as well. So we are good to go ahead and disconnect this and put the cap back on. Alrighty, one down, 3 more to go. All of the tires are fully inflated, so now I have to go ahead and disconnect everything. So I'm gonna work in reverse order, taking off the ground or the black alligator clip first. Then the red one.
And there you have it. With some basic tools and some basic knowledge, you know everything you need to know to air down and back up on the trail. If you found this video helpful, please hit that like button because it'll let us know and let other people find this information so they can go out and have some fun off-road.
Don't be afraid to start on the easier trails first. You don't need to get all of the fancy gadgets right out the bat. But if you are ready to go ahead and start airing down, the VEVOR portable air compressor really is a good choice for the price. It did everything we asked and more, and I couldn't be more thrilled with it. So if you're interested in the VEVOR portable air compressor, down in the video description, we're gonna go ahead and leave a link as well as a discount code. So take a look at that, and we'll catch you on the next one.
Bye, guys.